It's rolling the wheel time, rolling the wheel time. It's time for me to write a haiku.
Haiku, all right.
That's the jingle. I'm going to sing that jingle every time.
I got one story. So, let's do it. We're talking about, what was I talking about? I was talking about something.
Where am I? Who am
Mayans. Yeah, speaking of Mayans, is it Mayan or is it urine? No, it's Zecience.com has a story from TBPO. I don't want to reflect everything on my glasses. The only reason I take them off so I can read this stuff. It's big enough. In the heart of the Yucatan, more than 1,000 years ago, a group of Mayan astronomers known as daykeepers tracked the movements of the moon with such precision that they could foresee solar eclipses centuries in advance. Now researchers John Jutson and Justin Lowry have finally decoded their methods for building eclipse tables in a new study. The earliest version of the eclipse tables seems to have been a repurposed version of a less complex table, the authors write, which listed 450 successive lunar months, each lasting either 29 or 30 days. From that humble start, the Maya built a framework capable of predicting every solar eclipse visible in their territory between 350 and 1150 CE. In modern times, we used to call that BC. In modern times, the 8-page eclipse table of the, wait, is that BC? Yeah, I think so. I don't even what CE means. I don't like the way they change terminology in the middle of my life.
Yes, most people don't like change.
Not fair.
You're correct.
I guess it had to be CE is what we used to call AD, I think maybe. And anyway,
yes, BC
to modernize
is before, AD is after.
No, it says
is
CE.
You're correct.
Okay, so thanks for changing terminology, scientists. You didn't warn me. Okay. The 8-page eclipse table of the Dresden Codex looks like a dense grid on hieroglyphs and numbers. The Mayanists, however, these tables hide a rhythm of cosmic regularity. The table covers 405 lunar months, or just over 32 years, and contains 69 new moons, of which 55 mark possible solar eclipses. Each entry or station represents a new moon when a solar eclipse could occur. Most are spaced 6 lunar moons apart, roughly 177 days, because that's how long it takes for the moon to return to the same alignment relative to the Earth and the Sun. Earlier scholars assumed that each new table began the previous one when the previous one ended, but this Judson and Lowry show would quickly throw off predictions. The Maya, they argue, used 2 precise reset points, 223 and 358 lunar months. These correspond to the known Saros and Anex cycles of eclipses. Yes, sir, they knew what they were doing. The Saros is the eclipse cycle of approximately 18 years and 11 days and 8 hours, after which Sun, Earth, Moon return to nearly the same relative geometry. The Inex cycle is slightly shorter period of about 10,571 days or 29 years that also align eclipse patterns. As author notes, restarting an eclipse table at these intervals and at those ratios would have enabled daykeepers to reset the table relatively for a few millennia. The researchers' reconstruction shows that by mixing 4 resets of 358 months, the Inex cycle, and one for 223, the Maya could have maintained accuracy across generations, a mathematical calibration as elegant as anything found in Babylon or Greece.
That's right.
Civilization
Math has always been the
sky.
truest fact of human existence.
Yeah, they didn't have Saturday Night Live or television or any of that stuff. They may have had some sports and shit, but the smart people were looking at the sky. Maya astronomy was part science, part divination. The daykeepers worked with the intertwined calendars, a 260-day ritual calendar used for astrology and prophecy, and a 365-day civil calendar that tracked the solar year. Around 500 BCE, that is, I guess, the new terminology for BC, they began linking the lunar cycle 260-day divinity count By a classic period between 350 and 900 CE, the Maya had compiled enough eclipse observations to discern long-term patterns. The Dresden Codex, copied around the 12th century from older sources, preserves that culmination of the language. In their analysis, Jules Justison and Lowry cataloged 145 solar eclipses visible across the Maya world over 8 centuries. They found that eclipses separated by 669 lunar months, roughly 54 years, tended to recur near the same longitude and time of day. The Maya could therefore recognize these cycles and fold them into their predictions. After 3 spans of 405 months with 190 eclipse intervals among 20 eclipses, a fairly uniform pattern will emerge. The researchers write, in other words, watch the sky for a few generations and the universe starts to talk back in numbers. For the Maya, eclipses were very important, seen as cosmic warnings. Darkness devouring the sun might signal divine anger or renewal. Again, we're supposing we know what they were thinking. Yet, beneath the myth, their predictions rested on the day.
Like we were talking about before, but there might actually be Mayans alive that they can actually ask. So.
Oh, there's probably all kinds of things they can read and decipher, right? Yet, between the myth, the predictions rested on data carefully recorded over centuries. When the researchers reconstructed the table's historical range, they found it likely corresponded to the years 1083 and 1116. Remarkably, that same method for eclipse table could still predict modern eclipses over Mexico, as long as someone made new tables using the same reset procedures. Well, go make the table. Without these periodic resets, the table would gradually drift out of alignment due to the slight mismatch between the lunar months and the eclipse cycle. The table would have anticipated every solar eclipse observable in the Mayan territory from a century or two after the first evidence of Mayan lunar calendar to at least the era of extant eclipse table 700 years later. A couple more paragraphs. 7 centuries of reliable predictions built without telescopes, without calculus, without even a concept of gravity. We don't know if they had a concept of gravity. I'm just saying. Again, you're placing your ignorance on them.
Yeah.
It's kind of, they couldn't have possibly had anything else.
I feel like even a child can tell that there's something pulling things to the earth, right? Like you drop it, it falls down. Like, you know? The reason who came up with this? Who gets credit for gravity? What's his name?
Sir Isaac Newton.
Yeah. I think he just came up with let me calculate it. Let me make a fucking mathematician's, let me find out what gravity equals, right? But I think everyone could agree that gravity existed before. I think they had a concept of gravity.
Archimedes and Galileo and all them. Anyway, now one more paragraph. Anyway, we now live in an age where we can calculate eclipses thousands of years in the future with computer precision, but it's humbling to recognize 1,000 years ago, Maya astronomers are doing much of the same thing, and they're all armed only with their eyes, their calendars, and an unshakable conviction that the universe spoke in numbers. There you go. And of course, ancient aliens are helping them. We can't leave that out. Sorry, that's a joke. That's my little joke. Have an haiku. I'm haikuless.
Okay, here's your haiku. Ancient stars align, Mayan scribes in shadowed halls, math whispers time's breath. This keeps going. Math's always going in the background.
All right. That's my story.